Hi, welcome for RTL online trainings. This is Chandra. I am here to explain about Oracle Fusion HCM interview questions and as well as the new updates which Oracle has introduced in the latest versions. Okay, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel to get more updates about Oracle Cloud and both finance, human capital management, technical and integrations. So most of the times whenever we are doing the practice, for example, when we are working with talent management, we'll just go to navigator and try to work with goals. For example, let's say I'm trying to create one goal here. Whenever we try to work with the goal plan or separate goals, you will be getting this type of error message. You cannot complete this transaction because your personal information is incomplete. So the reason behind this is whenever we are trying to log in with the application, this is not an employee user. This user, whatever you have connected, this is not an employee user. This is an implementation user, right? So implementation user cannot perform the transactions. Implementation user cannot perform the transactions. He can do only the setups. He can do only setups. Only the employee user can perform this particular transactions. Let me take one user who is an employee user. How to find whether the user is implementation user or an employee user? When we go to me and go to personal information, then we can find that empty page here. We don't have any information right here. Here I can see that nothing. There is no information. It means this user is implementation user. This user is implementation user. So if it is employee user, we can find some personal information. Let's see that employee user. Let's go to security console. Let's go to security console environment. I'm going to take one employee user. Let's see this user is a employee user or not. We can also get it from here. Once we go to security console here, we'll be able to find the page user account. If we look at here, whenever we search for your username, then there is no information about the employee. This is a implementation user. This is not an employee user. For example, if we search another user, let's say I'm going to take this user. Now this user is having worker name, person number, manager, all this information. So this is employee user. This is employee user. So whenever we are working with cloud applications, it's not only in human capital management, in even finance, supply chain management also, there will be two different types of users. One is implementation user, another one is employee user. Implementation user is going to implement the product to the client. Means we are going to do the setups. What transactional user will do? Transactional means end user, employee user. Once we implement the product to our client employees will start using the product. They'll come to office every day and they'll log in. They'll start doing the transactions. For example, if it is finance, they'll try to create an invoice, cancel the invoice, make the payments, create accounts, transfer to GL, create supplier, making the payments to supplier. If it is human capital management, we'll find that hire employees, transfers, terminations, mass updates, rehiring, changes. These all things will be done as a transactions day-to-day base business. Okay. So whenever you are getting that error message, like you are not the person, then what you have to do is you need to go for check your user is employee user or your user is a implementation user. If your user is an employee user, it will allow you to create. Now this user is an employee user. That's why it is allowing. That's why it is going to allow you to create the goal plans. Let's go to security console. Search for your user. And you can find that this user is employee user, right? That's why it is allowing you to do the transactions. It's not only in the goal management module, and we can find this type of issue even in the performance management or in profile or in financials. When you try to do some transactions, we'll be facing that error. So please check that over here. Okay, thank you. Thanks for time you have spent with me, and subscribe to our RTL trainings to get the latest updates like this about the jobs and real-time issues and the errors during our training and when we are working in the project exclusively for Oracle Cloud. Thank you.